Hello everyone, this is Bobo the Vulture, and this is more Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. We're going to be having a little bit more fun with a little bit more racings, you know. You know how we do it. So, anyways, we want to be a good driver, we want to be a safe driver, and we want to buckle our seatbelt and load our save data. So yeah, you remember last time, folks. Last time, we did a real good job of breaking the game wide open. Oh. There we go. The controller was not set properly. My bad. So yes, now it's going to go into the long, arduous loading process. But yeah, we got $150,000 for our trouble for winning that endurance race. Plus, well, no, we didn't get that in the last event. Sorry, the moment I sit down to do a Let's Play, Zach just hops up here and goes nuts. He's aiming for it. Yeah, we got this little guy. The Denso Sard Supra. It's my new car. It's my new jam! And I'm going to go ahead and take this lovely car out to, well, let's give it a try someplace not too challenging. Grand Touring Car Trophy. What do they mean when they say Grand Touring Car? I'm going to look to see what kind of what kind of horsepower levels these cars are running, and B, whether they're normal cars, race modified cars, what they are. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, see, this is a different definition of GT. We are racing in a Super GT car, which is a racing spec of some variety. So, trying to race against those guys, even though we probably wouldn't have been able to enter that particular race because I think there's a horsepower cap. Yeah, would have been unfair. Wouldn't have been very sporting. Now, Toon Turbo Car Cup or Gran Turismo All-Stars. What's going on in the All-Stars? The All-Stars at the Super Speedway? Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is that the cars that are also participating at the Super Speedway are way faster than ours. And we lose because of that. But what are the odds of that happening, right? Fairly decent, really. So we need to be careful. Yeah, we are racing against other Super GT kinds of competitors. Need to be careful here. That's a Super Racing Spec Vector over there that we just raced past. That was a nice way through that turn, if I don't say so myself. Get some strong acceleration out of these corners. We're doing a good job here, folks. We're doing a good job. We're just that little bit more fearless than they are. For example, I just hit that wall. I should be out of commission, but since I'm not, because of the way the game works, also, this car is front-engined, but the as you'll remember from the description of this car in the last video, the driver's seat is placed way back and the engine is placed way back, so all of the weight of the car is still in between the front and rear axles, more or less. So it's all pretty well balanced, but you do have to be careful because it'll get all mean and spinny on you. Hi, Zachary Dean. You're bumping my hands. I love you too. We just managed to beat a Vector Le Mans edition, a GT1. You shouldn't really be able to beat those. Now, the various LM edition cars, I guess I sort of see that, but... And that Jaguar XJ220 GT race car that I was talking so fancifully about earlier. We just beat one of those, and we're going to get 50 grand prize money out of this. Let's go ahead and look at some of these other dreams. You've seen what my car looks like in action now. Ah, yes, the Viper GTSR Team Oreca. Oreca, whatever you want to call them. It's a French team. They're based out of Le Mans. Their whole thing is racing Le Mans series, like racing 24 hours of Le Mans. It's not their only thing that they ever do, but taking the Dodge Vipers and turning them into Le Mans winning cars was a big thing that the Oreca team did back in the 90s, and it was pretty special. Nowadays, Oreca makes the chassis for all of the prototype challenge category cars in, well, what was the American Le Mans series, and I guess will now be the Unified Sports Car Championship. I forget what they're calling it now, the Tudor Sports Car Championship or something. Anyways, the R390 GT1, designed to a rules specification to win Le Mans overall, as opposed to the slightly more restrictive GT category that the Oreca Dodge would have been in. Okay, there it is again. The Vector M12 LM Edition, this is not a real thing. It never really raced in Le Mans that I can recall. I don't think that was something that ever happened. There's my car. The Jaguar XJ220 was loosely designed around going to Le Mans at some point in time, I think. But it was really designed mostly to be a dream supercar, an aspirational supercar for people to buy, because at that time people were buying supercars and sports cars as like investment pieces. And they ran into a couple of production problems along the way, the biggest one being they were originally planning on it being all-wheel drive with a V12 engine, and it came out as rear-wheel drive with a very finely tuned, I think, 6-cylinder. And people were all up in arms about it. But it's still a beautiful car, and it's sort of a dedicated sort of racing-style machine. Audi TT LM Edition. I don't know that Audi ever ran a TT at Le Mans. They spent most of their time and effort in the past decade plus now racing in the top prototype categories, and pretty well dominating. I think that's everybody. Yep, so we just did a little quick rundown of some of these fancy pants dream cars. And now we are going to look at that. Next, please. Let's check out our bonus. And a new car! Sweet. Let's continue. I like this GT All-Stars place. They give you nice cars. By the way, apparently this category is the money-making game for this one, because Red Rock Valley gets you a very fancy car indeed. These are all going to be fancy cars. Don't get me wrong. They will be fancy cars. Like the Mines Lancer Evo 5. It's a pretty fancy car. Look at it. 413 horsepower. That looks like something we could go take and win some all-wheel drive championships, like, almost out of the box. Might want to put some nice racing tires on it. But we can deal with that another time. We're not done dominating using our new special beam cannon. I mean, special Super GT Denso Supra. Let's go to Special Stage R5. This is going to be difficult for me, folks, because the Special Stage R5 is a night stage, and I think they look okay. I've looked at how the recordings make them show up, and they seem to show up okay on the recordings. They do not show up okay on my television. They show up a little bit too dark to see ahead of you. I've raced this track before enough times, though, you'd think I would be able to know sort of the intricacies of it, even without being able to see it especially well. But, you know, the first time you do that turn in, it's always going to be a bit of a confusion. Whoops, and there's part of the problem. You get this wrong, you get it wrong in this car, you can get it wrong in a big way. So there is that issue. For example, this non-stop fishtailing. Seems unlikely that I'll win this one. But I'm catching up at a faster pace than you might have expected, aren't I? Aha! Victory! In my grasp from 6th place. Or, you know, that might happen. This car doesn't really like reaching a full stop. I'll tell you that much right now. Doesn't even really like being told to brake. Car takes a lot of concentration to drive. As I suppose a car with, you know, unearthly amounts of horsepower and downforce and ability to kill you probably should take. Although, that said, as fast as it is, it's fairly tractable. Yeah, it's pretty much low-speed corners that are going to kill me every time in a car like this. Because you'll notice I'm smoking the tires a lot of the time. Smoking the tires, folks, basically means that the car has lost all traction in those wheels. Basically meaning it's sliding around. That's not a great position for your... Not a great position for your car to be in. Hey, he just turned me around, you cheater! So look at that, I can't even, I get sort of this crazy tachometer needle dance going on. Yes, I'm not going to win this race, but it'd be foolish at this point to cast out of it right away, because, I mean, heck, I'm still going to earn tens of thousands of dollars, or at least $10,000, just from being a participant. Just from getting the, like, field day participant medal ribbon thing. Okay, one big important tip for you guys at home watching is, well, one, don't run straight into a wall. Second, usually, although in second and first gear, maybe your results will vary. But the car does want to go straight ahead. It's pretty nice that way. But yeah, in theory, I think this is a championship that you can go to make a lot of money. I'm just still needing to polish up my skills a little bit, I think, before I can do anything really good with it in this kind of car and this kind of an event. I'm a little rusty, folks. I haven't played the game. I haven't played Gran Turismo 2 in many years. I haven't played a Gran Turismo game at all since, well, you know, played those couple of license tests. But aside from that, since I played Gran Turismo 1 as a Let's Play. But still. Oh, $1,000? That is a steep decline. Well, fine. We're going to continue anyways. And we're going to go to Red Rock Valley. Because Red Rock Valley seems like it would be a circuit that would be a little bit... It would play a little bit more to this car's strengths. Lots of sort of wide, fast corners. Seems like we could do pretty well in something like that. So, we're going to give it a shot. Let's go ahead and start the single race at Red Rock Valley. Provided I can remember how Red Rock Valley goes and sort of get a good knack for going around. This car should be a good car for this particular goings-on. There's a Toyota GT1 there. There's Lister Storm in front of us. Again, a lot of this is going to be who's flat out fast. Doing not too bad here, right? That Selena's a weird sounding little doodad, isn't it? Singing some kind of sad, wailing banshee song behind us. And you, little TT, you're the one who stands in our way. So he does. He's like, I'm going to get in front of you again. Okay, could go through that corner better. But still, gaining ground. Gaining ground on these dudes all the time. And you'll notice we're just like, oh yeah, I just went through that last corner, just went at that last straight like 180, 190 miles an hour. NBD. Alright, power out of there. A little bit of braking from this area. Yeah, okay, got slowed down a little too early that time through the corner. But, you know, we're fine. We're still ahead of the pack. Not the fastest lap around, but it's okay. Managed to get a good exit out of there. Managed to carry a great deal of speed into the end of Sector 1 there. That's the problem that you may end up having if you end up driving like me. You're not putting together the entire lap. You're just getting a couple of good executions on individual turns and stuff. It means that if you do get a particular set of corners set up much better than you ordinarily would, that means that you're coming to the next section of the track much faster than you ordinarily might. Which means that you would have to set up that turn significantly different than the last time you went around. So, you know, not getting that entirely through my head is bad news, Brown. I guess I was nearing the end of Sector 2 at that last go-around when I was talking about coming up to this turn. Still in all, I'm pretty satisfied with my progress along this track. These may not be the best laps, and these may not be the best laps that you can run in any of these cars. But it's okay, folks, because you are gonna see the big win from Big Bobo, the Big Vulture. Yeah, see? Super GT, we did a good job. We're not gonna watch the replay, though. It's okay. Because we got 50 grand. And a new car! Next. We're going to continue. And we're going to go to the garage again. Because the garage is the place where happiness and good dreams come true. Happiness comes true, folks. I've said it, it's now fact. It's part of the record. I'll need to come back and check out that R5 again, although, hey, we got time. And we got a Speed 12. 807 horsepower. See, this is a TVR special that I believe you can try and buy in the game for $2 million or something like that. But we could sell it. You know how we bought that Starlet, and its sell value is like 1,025. It's like less than half. This Prelude VTEC, we bought it for like $5,000. Yeah, they want $1,550 for it, even though we've done all that great work to it. The sell value for this car is $500,000. Basically, you want one of those like low-level special edition super rally car, whatever things they are, 500 grand, boom, you've got it. Let's look at the info. TVR had a modest claim when the Speed 12 was unveiled in 1996, the most powerful road car ever built. With front-mounted 7.7-liter 48-valve V12 engine that made 830 horsepower at 7,250 RPM at street tune, who was to argue? The competition version had to be restricted to a mere 750 horsepower. The Street Beast had a 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and with power gearing, a theoretical top speed of 240 miles per hour, if anyone was brave enough to try. Built as a race car first, road car second, the Speed 12 was a no-compromise design. Its stainless steel tubular chassis featured a multi-adjustable suspension with double wishbones and push rods. Even the road car had a full road cage fitted inside its composite body. The brakes were to full competition specifications, and that fearsome face, look at that face, oh, fearsome. Wasn't just to scare off competitors. The wide ducts were vital for cooling purposes and for funneling air for downforce. Unfortunately, rules changes for the British GT series, for which the car was intended, outlawed it. Overnight, the reason for the road car's existence also disappeared before any could be delivered. It's likely to be a long time before such an ambitious and utterly insane production car will ever be dreamt of again. They say that, and then since then we've had, well, I don't know. I mean, you could argue that the Bugatti Veyron is an even more ambitious project than this. Actually, kind of is a more ambitious project than this. You could argue that it's not quite as insane, though, because that was put together on a budget, whereas the Veyron was sort of a cost-no-object, an engineering exercise for Volkswagen Group, essentially. They lost money on every Veyron they sold. They just did it because they wanted to be like, look, we can do this better than anybody. Do you hear us? Anybody. And that's what they did. But anyways, folks, we've got the biggest, baddest, most utterly insane car in this game already. And when we come back next time, question is, do we get another one and sell it? Then go get a rally car. We could go rally racing. Or we could continue taking our Supra out and doing some other fun, crazy stuff with that. Or, craziness of craziness, we could attempt to race the Speed 12. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, that's more or less a recipe for disaster. Either way, though, this is Bobo the Vulture. This is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.